It'll be a normal experience within about 3 minutes, boys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You should have either trained first, got a pump, or wore 2 sizes too small, so we actually had a bit of size.
Mate, didn't you go hard? Or we'll leave it all for the potty. Are we on, Donny? Yeah. We're good? Alrighty. Just sound connections. Well, thank you thank you very much for checking back in with the Melbourne Strength Culture Podcast, episode number 3, with a very special edition today with the ICHPIG boys, all the way out from West. Welcome. We have Nate and we have Alex,
What's going on?
the co-founders of the brand.
Supposedly.
So yeah, very, very obviously we've been excited about this for a while now, especially Buzz and Donny in the back have been loving.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm still like a bit like rattled.
Yeah.
I reckon this is hectic.
Yeah, it's actually like we'll also throw up a video, like a little vlog as well on the backside of what's been going on. But we just unboxed the collab, the tees and the hoodies from you boys. So we're pumped. But obviously, thank you very much for coming on board or coming here today, and thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and thank you very much for allowing us a small little collab.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks
Keen
for
to be
being a
here.
part of it and inviting us.
Absolutely.
No, it's been good. We obviously we went out for the vlog. When did we go? When did we come out?
Man,
Maybe like a month.
time flies, huh?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 weeks. I
Yeah,
reckon you
we
guys
met the
came
little
to the
dog.
factory.
Yeah, my little devil child.
Tex the heavy.
Tex the hex.
Tex is a weapon.
Scariest 4 kilos on legs.
He's a weapon. I fell in love with that dog straight away.
He's a shocker.
No.
But we love him.
You rescued him, yeah?
Yeah, rescued him.
Yeah,
Found
you
him.
found him at the creek. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, my partner said this woman ran up to her. They were walking with her mum. I'd rolled my ankle skating, of course, and this woman runs up to Araha and is like, "There's the dog." And yeah, Araha found Tex kind of huddled up in a bush.
Yeah.
And like Araha carried him home, and then she walked in the door with him, and I was like, "That's not our dog. Whose dog is that?" She's like, "Oh, we found him." I'm like, "Oh my god!" And they just went crazy at me. Tex went nuts at me. He wasn't.
Been going nuts at everyone in the office ever since.
He wasn't happy with me.
He was pretty chill when we were there. You were saying that he likes to bark at men, but I don't know. Maybe we're just boys.
Maybe you guys got good auras or something.
Yeah.
He's
We've
pretty
done a
mellow
lot
with you
of
guys.
training.
Yeah.
The chakras might have been in line.
They were.
Yeah.
All of them. Well, I reckon we get into how this all started, because I've had a few people like just message me like, "What the fuck's going on here? Like, this is a bit left of center. No one was really expecting it at all." How did this all get going? I reckon we delve into that, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, it started with you buying a 2XL and you calling. Was that the first?
I think it was, yeah. You
Yeah.
bought a 2XL red strike logo tee, I think.
The red,
No,
the
barbell
red,
tee.
barbell club. Yeah,
Barbell Club tee in red. And it looked big. I mean, each big products run big.
Yeah.
But that looked noticeably big. So I called it
Swimming.
out.
Bold. It was a bold strategy.
I called it out.
And you probably were in the. What were you weighing back then?
Oh, like 103.
Yeah, so Buzz was big time Buzz.
Yeah.
Buzz fluctuates anyway from about 85 to about 105 within about a 3-month period.
That's pretty solid.
It's crazy, man.
That's really solid.
Health, brother.
Health.
Yeah, I move weight heavy for a bit, and then I just crash hard when I decide I need to get lean.
Yeah. And
And
then
then I say, know what I do. That's the sort of the motto I live by.
Yeah.
Coaching, yeah, that's me.
100%. And then Alex shouted him out and said, "That's swimming on you."
Yeah.
And then we just bombarded you guys because as soon as we started I started learning about the brand. You guys like Melbourne made, and we'll get into all this, but like Melbourne made, very environmentally sort of progressive.
Absolutely.
And moving in that direction. It's not just normal. Like, you're not just slapping a logo. Like, it's a full blown design. Like it's a full blown company. It's actually really cool. And we just sort of fell in love with what you guys were doing, and we like companies that are. Like, you guys have got a fucking skate park in your warehouse. Like, that's sick. So we were just like, we'll just start messaging them. And then all of a sudden we're like, Donnie, make a sick edit on one of the videos, and with the face mask one. That's the one I've got. Yeah.
Yep.
The mindset.
series.
Yeah. So we just started buying everything. Like, fuck, these guys are sick. So we started messaging, and then all of a sudden it just turned into, hey, let's do a collab.
Yeah, here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose our staff started seeing it, and once our staff started seeing it, they were kind of like, yep, I think we should do this.
Yeah.
We just sort of ran it through our checks. Independent, check. You guys are. Melbourne, check. And then
Sick
part of the
community.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're our sort of pretty basic checks of whenever we want to work with artists or partner with other brands or partner with ambassadors or even like you guys, brand to brand or brand to business. It's always if they're independent and if they're connections with our community.
So you've only worked with Melbourne people?
No, definitely throughout Australia.
Yep.
But something like this, sort of brand to business, close to home, we always knew that we'd have ties with your community and likewise with ours. And one of our big phrases is driven by independence, bound by community.
Yeah.
Which you guys sort of tied in with really nicely. So that's why we sort of gave it the big thumbs up.
Made sense.
Yeah.
Well, we like that. So thank you very much for that. That's I actually really like that quote. That's cool. Because we saw you've also done one with Saul's Sandwich Shops. I'm sure that a lot of the viewers from the area probably know Saul's because they popped up in.
Looks like he knows Saul's a little bit.
I know Saul's. There's one. The one just opened around the corner for me, East Bentley.
Yeah,
they've gone hard.
They took over. What was that before? It was a cafe. I know it was all owned by the same people, but there was a cafe, Time and Place. That was it. And then they rebranded to Saul's because Saul's in Carnegie was just thumping.
Yeah.
Those boys do good shit.
Yeah.
Well, just another independent.
Yeah, they're
they go
cool.
hard.
Yeah.
They max out on everything.
Good dudes.
Yeah, just awesome dudes.
And cool branding. I like their little like retro, the red and the cream and the checker.
The script was really easy to work with. They had that checkered styling with like that deli style sandwich. It's really easy to filter it through our product line, and they were a no-brainer. As soon as we connected with them, we were like, yep, done. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I saw recently you had a few artists and stuff involved as well. Who are they?
Yeah.
We had blinker fluid involved. So that kind of came through one of our staff members, AJ, who follows him and kind of really down with all his work. And again, like independent, local, doing cool shit. And I think for us, like everyone that we like working with we like to make sure that they're authentic, and Jason's a really authentic dude. Like I couldn't say a bad thing about him. He was epic.
Yeah, he's heavily involved in the scenes that his sort of art lives in. He's not just sort of an outsider looking in. He's in it. And I suppose that's one of the things that we look for is authenticity and honesty in the people that we sort of like to work with. And that's why as soon as we looked at what you guys were doing with your content packages and what you were doing with this gym, it was absolute no-brainer because you're going so hard.
Yeah.
And that was similar to Jason Calendar from Blinker Fluid.
Yeah, just making something out of nothing.
Yep.
I think that's something we've always prided ourselves on. Like when we first started sewing jumpers out of a garage in the western suburbs, people kind of not laughed at us, but maybe they turned a bit of a snigger at us or whatever, But we just made it happen, kept going, and like you boys.
Yeah, like when you started this, it's kind of like people only know the gym scene as, fitness firsts and anytime fitness, and like you're not going to become one of them. They're conglomerates. They got 20, 30 places around the country, but you're like, I reckon we can start chipping away at them.
It's still the most common question. I go, so when's the second one coming? I'm like, man, we're 6 years in, we're not getting a second one. Like we're just going all in on the one. Yeah, it's
sure.
And I'm sure you boys probably felt it as well when you start out. Like probably get a little bit of friend pressure, as you were saying. Like you just get a few remarks every now and then. It's like, oh, you guys won't make it, no chance. Like, how are you gonna whatever? But you just roll with it and go and see where it goes. How did it all start? Like you just saying you were sewing jumpers in your garage, or how old were you? How did
19, 18 and 21, 22 when we started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, $500. Bought the mum's garage. $500. Bought the first batch of stock.
You bought your mum's garage
just to get
the shit
ours.
out.
We wanted it to be ours, So here's $500, and then I had $500, and I bought the stock line.
Yeah.
And we just bought dead stock hoodies that a local manufacturer couldn't sell in colours they couldn't move.
Yeah.
Yellows, blues, reds, which we were down with because they were colours that we'd seen in like international sporting brands.
Yeah.
And sneakers and stuff like that. So we were like, perfect. Like, if you can't sell these colors, we absolutely can. So we bought a whole bunch of dead stock crew necks and hoodies. And then we just started cutting them up, slicing them up, picking them apart, and then, you know, putting colorways together. You know, you grab some teal, some purple, some white. You got yourself like Mighty Ducks inspired sort of hoodies and stuff like that. And, you know, Lakers and Chicago Bulls and Miami Dolphins with teal, orange, and some white and some black. And then, yeah, all of a sudden we had like all these like sporting culture, sneaker inspired, like bespoke custom garments. And,
we didn't make the same hoodie twice for the first 2 years. We kind of prided ourselves on that. Like if someone would say, "Oh, I want that one," we're like, "Nah,
It's like bad luck.
nah, that's the colorway done. We can do it like this, or we can do it in a different form or a different way." Or it was sick, and we were just upskilling. You know, like Alex kind of taught me how to sew, and then I kind of got good on the overlocker. So that's kind of the joining stitch. We learnt how to make hoodies instead of just crew necks. And just our skill set expanded.
It just kind of, we were just making ones, we're just making bespoke custom one-on-one pieces.
I was going to say, so were they pre-ordered to start, or?
Yeah, we'd sort of, you'd put up images and they'd already be sold, obviously, because it was someone's order. And then from that order, you'd get, you know, the next 5 orders and the next 10 orders, and it'd just be different variations of that colorway. And that was sort of the itch in the brand, itchy being one in Japanese. And so everything was one, everything was singles, individuals. And then from there, we just scaled that concept out to the point where, you know, 10 orders a week turned into 50, 100, 150. And then things got a bit too crazy. Yeah, and we had to turn it into actually a ready-made, pre-manufactured brand, which is sort of where it is now today. We actually design according to, you know, actual product lines and things that we need to actually fulfill for our audience.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're thinking of trying to bring custom back into the brand. But
nice.
Yeah.
Just got to figure out how the actual manufacturing and the process works, because there's a front end thing where you'd have to make some type of portal available for people to actually place the orders and visualize it, and then it would have to come in. You'd have to pre-package it, and then you'd have to have it made to the specifications.
Yeah. Similar to like a Nike ID.
I was going to say that you got the shoes that they can you like pick the different stitching and the different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. That would be cool if you can get that back in.
Yep.
And I think
something for sure in the near horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said start in the garage. How long did it take you to, like you said, like 50 to 150 orders, or how long did it take until you were swamped and you couldn't really just be stitching it yourselves? And how long? What was that process?
About 18 months, 24
I'd say
months.
like after a year or so, we realized it was just too much for us workload to be handling in terms of actually physically sewing stuff. Like, you know, at the time I was working part-time 20 hours and doing 20 hours of honours at university, and Alex is doing his university full-time, and then we were doing another 20 hours a week on ICHPIG as well, so it was pretty hectic.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of, like, not sleeping and stuff like that. But yeah, and also you realise, and you boys probably know this, it's like one of the big things is you learn you've got to stick to what you're good at. You can't just keep doing everything.
Yeah.
And we realised pretty quickly we're not great sewers.
There's better seamstress out there than us two.
Yeah.
We were all right, but there were better people out
100%.
there.
They're more efficient.
Yeah.
The value in our hours is getting more business, generating more content, doing more crazy stuff, trying to come up with new ideas.
Well, how did that all, because like you said 10, 11 years ago, like we really only know like the Instagram push, like we've been around for 5-6 years, but we've been heavy on Instagram, YouTube, like that's where we drive all of our sort of reach from. 10, 11 years ago, I don't know, it was Instagram probably just started.
Facebook, we were on Facebook actually, using like, we would tag the people that placed the custom order so it would appear on their feed, and then obviously in posting something that had no supply because it was already sold, demand would go massively up. So we would control that supply demand curve really well with just posting things that literally were already sold out.
Yeah.
And we were pretending we didn't have like a Facebook business page or anything. Like for the first 2 years of the company's life, we didn't even have a website. We were just selling through this Facebook, and it was like a Facebook, like it was a person. Like we just called it ICHPIG Melbourne. I think it might have even been called Face Stalk or something at the time.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And it was just like, it was just this personal page or whatever that we just post these images on, and it was just crazy. Like I always said how like the actual jumpers were worth less than the marketing of the jumpers, because the marketing of the jumpers were worth 10 jumpers, whereas the jumper was only worth 1 jumper, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
That image of that jumper would get you 10 more sales, and it would just kind of grow exponentially from that. So, yeah.
This is something I'm curious about, because I remember you guys talking about it, and we saw the flicks in your office as well with the bellies on, balaclavas on, and you guys like decked out, and you're going through Facebook.
Wait, we can't just skip over the fact that you just called a balaclava a belly. Is that actually something that's...
Yeah, we can call them bellies.
Wow.
Yeah, ski masks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely not from the street. Holy moly. I'm not from the areas.
And they comment, brother. But yeah, looking at those, it's like, all right, so not only going through Facebook and an unknown brand with something called Face Stalk, or maybe even just ICHPIG Melbourne, how did that initial interest start to generate? Because it's like, I know you saying it looked like something from the street, but you were saying more it's the balaclava isn't to represent this street hard thing. It's more like anonymity. So they could picture themselves in it. But it's like, what gets me is how you riled up that initial interest to start and to get this off the ground.
I think just because of the product we were producing was just so different. It is so different still to this day, you know, like we're back
You
then.
rarely see a 21 high, 18 wide embroidery on the front of a hoodie.
No.
Not many people would really send it like that. And we
And then
just
ask for
kinda do.
$180 for it. Like, not many people got the balls for that, right?
Not many people can cover the invoice when it comes through made in Melbourne. So,
Yeah.
And then, you know, like not many people have the fortitude to kind of, I guess, have the ability and the desire to explain why it is $180, because, you know, like, it's crazy. Like we recently did this strategic business plan write up for the business, and like one of the stats that we found was, on average, our garment workers are paid like, you know, $4K per month roughly. Everyone
US.
That's
$3.5 US.
Yeah.
$3.5 US, and then the industry average is $93 per month.
Whoa.
It's crazy, huh?
So
Like-
when people ask about whale hoodies, $180,
That's why.
it's not very hard to explain.
It
to
adds
them
up
why.
very quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're just not playing on the same field. It's not the same game. It's like it's chess and checkers kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And people say, you know, I love Australian made, but that when you actually put a number to it,
Yeah,
it's completely
people run
different.
away, man. 100%.
Because you look at ethically sourced and sustainable is just like the garment and the fabric, but it's like it's not that at all. It's that's where it starts.
Yeah,
It's one of the big issues at the moment with sustainable fabric usage is kind of like, well, you don't actually know the work conditions of the staff that are producing that sustainable fabric. So, yeah, it's kind of that phrase steal from Peter to pay Bob. It's kind of like, you know, a lot of people pushing sustainability at the moment because it's sort of, I mean, it's greenwashing in a way, but they're hiding from the fact about ethical manufacturing and ethical production.
There's somewhere along the line, there's
Somewhere along the line,
process. Yeah.
someone's pinching somewhere along the line, and we sort of try to. We've always stayed with our ethical manufacturing, with locally manufactured goods, and now we're just adding into the layer of sustainable fabrics, but we don't want that to come at the cost of our ethical manufacturing. It has to be in addition to the brand and in addition to our products.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, sustainability is great, and we're really, really interested, and we care a lot about it. But like, sustainability is talking about the future and thinking for the future. But ethical for me is thinking and talking about people right now. You know, I feel like the ethical thing has to come first because you're sorting out people right now. you know?
People right now need jobs, and the industry here in Australian manufacturing and textiles needs help.
Yeah.
So we've got to solve that first, and we're working our best to do it, and we've done our best in the last 10 years to
100%.
do that. But moving forward, it will be also adding a sustainable layer with our fabrics.
Yeah. Well, I think without the people, it's obviously nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it's all well and good using sustainable fabrics, but if the people are at
If the people are forced
at
to
a
live
disadvantage,
if they're forced to live at the factories that they work at, or they're not allowed to take overtime, or they're not allowed to take sick leave to go take their kid to school, like what the hell is that?
yeah,
you know?
exactly. No, it's ridiculous.
And people think that, like, you know, the whole made overseas offshore thing is about the revenue and stuff. Like, yeah, that's a problem that like people aren't paid a fair wage. Like, they're paid $93 USD
That's crazy.
per month, right? But people don't see the other part of it, which is, the forced overtimes. They live at the factories. They can't leave. There's like, they're stood over. They're talked to improperly. There's no workers' rights. There's none of that stuff that, you know, we take for granted. We don't even think about it, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, well, that's the thing. When I thought like ethically sourced or whatever else, the assumption was it's fabric only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't even think about that. That
No, it's
wasn't
funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
And that's the weird thing about the whole sustainability push at the moment is like, it's like
They're forgetting about the other side of it.
Yeah.
Ethical manufacturing is very important.
They're thinking about the people. The people is one of the most important. People have to be as important as the environment.
yeah.
More so. Like,
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd think
but it's
so.
like without people, there's no
There's
future.
no nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like
None of
that's
this exists anyway.
Yeah.
100%. Far out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've actually never thought about it in that way. Like, obviously, yeah, you go through a couple of the thought process, through those doors, and you sort of start thinking about it. But no, yeah. So yeah, $180 for a hoodie. That's why.
That's why.
Yeah, but obviously it works for you guys and your brand, and everyone knows it. Like, that was one of the first things I learned about the brand was like Melbourne made, Melbourne. Yeah, like it was just, yeah, that's cool. So respect and great for pushing that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, 100%. Because I do know, I do see a lot of brands now. I saw Country Road come out with that. Then they were like, oh yeah, in the next 3 years, we want to be in sort of where you guys are already at right now. Obviously, completely different ballpark. But I do know that there is a big push from a global perspective to start to.
Yeah, and it's doing it for the right reasons, you know, like maybe not Country Road, but I'm sure some brands out there are doing the ethical thing now because their supply chain's fucked from COVID.
Well, that would be the next, like...
That's what a lot of them are doing. Again, I'm not saying Country Road's doing that, but I know a lot of companies out there would be doing that because they can't get shit in here.
Yeah,
so they're just like, oh well, let's just do this ethical.
Have you guys found any impact from the global supply chain stuff? Has it impacted you at all? Not really.
No, I mean everything's sort of onshore here. All our garments have been getting made here for 10 plus years.
Our fabrics are spun here.
Yep, we've
It's
got
all dyed here, embroidered, everything.
We've got strong relationships with our manufacturers. They've always prioritised our work over other brands because we were sort of here when no one else was.
Yeah.
So,
Just being stand up, you know, like we don't run off that, you know, we'll pay you in 30 days, 60 days bullshit. Like generally we get an invoice, we'll pay it within a week.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how we roll. Like you don't just kind of keep stringing them out.
Yeah. That's crazy. So let's go back to, so you sort of had this anonymity to the brand. The bellies were on.
Yeah, we wore balaclavas with every customer interaction for probably a good 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep. So customers would bang on a roller door. The roller door would open. We would be there wearing balaclavas.
Staunch them.
We would supply them with their custom hoodie and
Roller door drops.
And then, there'd be a
super
photo.
funny. It's super funny. Like because Alex and I were both like rake skin back, like really skinny back then. We weren't really lifting or training much back then. So I'd hate to think what people would think now if we were wearing the balaclavas. We'd scare the shit out of
Bigger,
people.
yeah.
Just
a bit heavier.
Yeah.
Well, we're just, both.
And then as the order increases and we needed more people in this little 4x3 meter garage space, all of a sudden there's 3, 4, 5 blokes in there wearing balaclavas. So when a little kid or his mum or his sister knocks on the roller door and that pumps up, and then there's 5 blokes wearing big hoodies and oversized t-shirts and nothing that fits.
Yeah.
Hands you your custom hoodie. It got pretty imposing. But yeah, we just did it because we didn't want people to assign a face to the brand. We wanted people to think that the brand was a part of them and it was a part of the community that they were in.
Yeah.
So if we photoed our stuff on models with their faces or people knew who was behind the brand, then we knew that they could sort of start maybe pigeonholing it as what the brand was, and we wanted to just remain open and fluid. So, yeah, we made that call to wear ski masks really early and just sort of stuck with the brand for a little bit.
And we came from a snowboarding background as well, so that was pretty natural to us, those types of clothing and garments and how to use all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we actually, like for the first part of the brand, all the hoodies had balaclavas sewn in the neck. So you could actually pull them up and over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is where it sort of ties into the next question that I've got. And sort of like it stems from that, the platform that you started with, anonymity and circles. I know you skate, that's part of your influence. Like you can see that's almost like skate, hip hop. Like, I don't know, that's my assumption.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the balaclavas as well, that started to tie in and like, what was your initial sort of market at the start? What did that evolve into and what's it going into now?
Well, at the start, it was just, everything starts with the people in the brand. So it was me and Nate, and then there was a small amount of staff helping cut garments and stuff like that. They weren't staff then; they were just people helping.
People that got to chop up jumpers for free and make their own, and that as payment for helping us.
Yep. And then friends, and then it just sort of went out from circles like that. Friends, second circle of friends, suburb along, next suburb along. All of a sudden,
Network.
Victoria. And
We
then
were
nationwide.
pretty into a lot of different things as well. Like we're pretty kind of like skate, surf, snow, music, art. Like we're into a lot of different things.
And playing basketball as well.
Oh, yeah, basketball
playing
too.
3 or 4 games a week. It's like you rock up to different stadiums. You all of a sudden you're in Werribee, then you're at MSAC, and then you're playing in a Coburg League, getting hammered by big blokes at Coburg.
We played some rough ball
Played
games
some
at Coburg.
rough leagues.
That's a
but
rough league.
You're rocking up to there wearing the sort of clothing that we were producing. Like it wasn't just white t-shirts. Like back then it was some pretty wild clothing. And if you rock up wearing like a Lakers inspired, panelled hoodie that's 3 sizes too big for you,
Someone's going to ask.
someone's going to ask.
And it matches your kicks perfectly kind of thing. Like it's that homogenization between like kicks culture, sports, interest, like the fits of snow and skate. Like it was just everything. It's just such an amalgamation of everything.
Yeah.
which
And the
is kind of
clothing
what we
just
are.
stopped people, and you'd walk into the stadium and it's just yellow, purple, black, head to toe, a brand that no one knows.
No one knows, yeah.
They're going to start
Someone's gonna
asking.
ask.
Yeah.
And so that's just how it spread through basketball, through sneakerheads, through events and skating, and
Like everything. Like it was just crazy like that. Like even on the hill, like when we were snowboarding, like we'd be wearing balaclavas, just fanging around being menaces. Like just people would just be like, oh, there's those ICHPIG guys just trashing the shit out of the park.
Darn ICHPIG.
Yeah.
And now it's just one drunk idiot with 15, 17-year-olds on Centre Road in Bentley chanting ICHPIG down the road. Yeah. It's actually crazy. I was saying this before. It's going to be in the vlog, but obviously, like I literally, you wore the red barbell club t-shirt. Obviously, we'll get into that as well. Like you lift with John Paul Kauke, who most of our viewers would know as well. But and I was like, oh, that's a cool t-shirt. He's like, yeah, it's a cool brand, Melbourne, blah blah blah. And then Donnie walks in, he's got something, and then I saw like 2 other of our clients wearing it, and then this has been the last month for me. I just see it everywhere now. It's actually crazy.
Buy yellow car, see yellow car. It's like once you know the logo, you'll be like, oh my god,
It's
I've seen that
everywhere.
logo everywhere.
And I literally, I'm sitting with my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, there's another one. Like driving past. Oh, that guy's got it. Yeah.
It's crazy, like for us, because we know it so well. Like the true test for us is like we can tell it's our garment before even seeing the logo now.
Yeah.
Like someone could be facing away, and you can just tell by the way it sits on the shoulder or how the hood sits, or you can just like Alex would know it even more.
I can pick out t-shirt from a mile away.
Yeah?
Just the way this line flows from the shoulder to the edge of the elbow.
Yeah.
It's very distinctive. You can see it from a mile away.
Because you're talking about like for us, like we've been tinkering like millimeters on things for 10 years. That's the kind of authenticity that we apply to our craft. Like at its foremost, like we really give a shit about garments. That's what we care about.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where we started. It wasn't like marketing or we're influencers or whatever, right?
Yeah,
like
it was core product design.
and it always will be at its base. Like,
And
we
it's
make
also
really good
grown
product.
from that as well. Like that's the crux of everything.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
Product is king
Yeah.
in our brand for sure.
Yeah, which is really cool. It
And
is.
even here,
Yeah,
and
product
even
is
with
king.
the S&C and stuff like that. It's like
That's
you
your
know,
value.
Yeah, it's your value. It's like people, and I find it with young coaches, and like even myself for ages, like you worry about the wrong thing. It's like no, like don't. Like even social media. Social media is the easiest one. For example, it's like, all right, how am I going to refine social media without a product? It's like, what are you marketing at the end of the day? And it's just been product development, and by that, it's just be better coaches, develop this place in the community and the culture as much as possible, because it's not so much like, and this is with the social media, bringing new people in. It's not so much bringing new people in, but it's appealing to your core. It's like that whole Pareto 2080.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's 20%. That's the people. So you keep appealing to them with quality garments, because that's what brought me to it. It's like I want a sick tee with print that it's not too aggressive, that sits well. Like that was my whole thing.
And it's hard to find.
No,
And
it
it's
is so hard
simple,
to find.
and it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
And
That's why we made
And
it.
so many of
exactly.
them fall at the basic hurdle of produce quality product that fits well. Like it's so crazy how so
Our 3
many
product pillars is just quality, comfort, fit. It's just very simple. They're the 3 ones that we identified a long time ago, and we stuck to
Just
them.
stick to them.
Quality, comfort, and fit.
because we were just fed up. Like there's just so much trash out there. Like not to say that every brand's trash, but there's just so much stuff that, you know, it doesn't quite hit the mark here, it doesn't quite hit the mark there, and it's just like you just get fed up, and that's one of the reasons we're just going to make our own.
Yeah. Well, we see it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, and obviously the success of the brand over the last 10, 11 years, the value is definitely there in the community, 100%. So moving forward then from like, we'll just keep following the timeline. So you bought your mum's garage, you've cut the stuff up, you've sewed it all together, you've sort of now started to hire, you're moving on. Obviously, like we're going to look at like warehouse spaces and all that. Like we came to you one a month or so ago. Yeah, with this literally a skate park in the back there, which is sick. And you guys are telling me we need a bigger place so we can get a bigger skate park. Like that's but like how does that look? How do you end up where you're currently at, which is actually a sick facility, and I highly recommend checking out the vlog. I will put it down below. I edit this one, so not on Donnie. That one's on me, but. We'll put it in there because even like your offices have inspired us. Like you guys just inspire. I just love finding cool brands and cool communities and cool people that, because it is inspiring. Like the reason that we got the move on with setting this thing up and like starting to move into our office upstairs, because we came to yours and I walked in there, the green grass on the ground. You just there's 100 pictures on the wall. It's just. So how did we end up in that facility and?
I suppose we went to Tottenham next. We got a factory in Tottenham, pretty small.
Hustling. That's how we got there.
Yeah. Before we set up racks or where the store was going to be or the officing, the first thing we built was a skate park.
Skate park first.
And buy a basketball ring and paint the walls. That's always first. Basketball ring, build a skate park and paint the walls. Yeah. So that was the first thing we did.
Some things don't change, huh?
No. We applied the exact same concept pretty much to the Brunswick factory.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Then everything else comes later. So, yeah, I mean, we were in Tottenham for what, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. We actually literally, I remember, funny enough, our dog died at Mum's, and that was just like, we looked at each other and we're like,
we got to get out of here.
we got to get out of here.
We can't be at home anymore.
No, we got to try this for real. We got
a
to
42-degree day, burying the dog in the backyard, digging up gravel, and we're like, man, we got to get out of this joint. So like, let's take this seriously. As you know, things only start happening once you go full time on them.
100%.
Give them your 100%. So we said, yeah, let's send it, and went to Tottenham and filled out a factory like 350, 400 square meters. Wasn't big.
Yeah, it was just learning. I think, you know, the workshop, you know, the garage was like about seeing if we had an idea, if we had a unique selling point. I think Tottenham probably represented turning that unique selling point into a business,
into something,
into a livelihood.
Yeah,
is this something we can? Because up until that point, we hadn't paid ourselves anything. Like we were living off $50 a week, kind of thing. Like just like doing all kinds of crazy, dodgy shit that we're pretty infamous for.
We're frugal and hustlers and
frugal and some things that our partners are not very proud of us doing.
That's the pig, the hunger in the brand.
Yeah, well, we got the itchy.
You've got the itch. Now you've got the pig, so you've got both of them in the
relentlessness
in the podcast.
Nothing gets in the way of our goal. You just get there no matter
love
what. Chew through fat and bone and everything.
Yeah,
it's hungry as pigs, as
zero waste,
as Bricktop always says.
I like it.
Snatch.
It's good. It's got it's culture in the brand. It's your identity. It's what your values are. What your literally your identity. That's cool. And I love the fact that you're building a skate park around that's incredible. Like that just makes
you first.
Yeah, 100%.
First and everything around
Which is the same thing. Like I get it. I get because I don't coach anymore. I coach a very small amount. My coaching revenue to this business is probably 2% of the total revenue that the business actually brings in. It's so small now. But when we moved to this facility, it was the same thing. It was in my head. I'm like, all right, I want to build this thing out to support the staff before anyone else. So it was like, how's it going to look for us? How's it going to feel for us? What can this do for our team and our growth? That was for me what came first, and then everything else was around that. It sounds like it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Basketball ring, skate park. If everyone's having fun, we're probably going to get some good stuff done.
Yeah, we're going to make it work.
Yeah, 100%. In terms of like hiring people and stuff, like obviously you were saying in the last month you've brought on a few new faces, and it looks like just looking at your socials, a couple of probably longer term staff members have actually moved on as well. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean we ran a pretty like handshake agreement business for like probably 6-7 years.
More like 9.
Yeah, just off having really good, strong relationships with the staff.
All our staff were employees. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry, not employees. Of course, they were employees. No, they were customers.
Customers,
they just sort of-
friends,
Yeah.
and people just wanting to be involved in the brand and sort of connect and create a team. So we've never really had to worry about the specific particulars of hiring until recently.
I've learned a lot about contract law.
Yeah.
And now we're sort of like pretty crispy on
Make it right.
HR and all those kinds
Yeah,
of
for
things.
sure.
And
Well,
of
you got
things
how many people on quote unquote on the books at the moment?
What do we got? 5 full-timers, 4 or 5 full-timers,
2 part-timers.
2 part-timers, weekend casual.
Jules.
Yeah, casuals.
Yeah. I think it's probably like a team of, there's a few. It's probably like 10 or 11
10,
or something.
11, 12, including us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting up there. Like there's a lot to kind of learn and worry about. But yeah, like it's been a cool journey. Definitely the last 3 hires we've made are the first 3 hires that we've ever made where they're not customers. They maybe weren't buying from ICHPIG previously. So that's been interesting. We've actually spent all of the last week doing these DNA downloads, and it was basically like a crash course in ICHPIG.
Yeah.
3 meetings a day kind of thing, an hour each.
3 meetings a day for a week
To onboard the new staff.
to onboard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. And they're coming in from a design perspective, or
Yep. Graphic designer with a little bit of mixture of product design, a marketing lead, and content manager as well.
nice. All growth.
Yeah, big growth.
Growth areas.
Yep.
Growth.
Fucking oath.
Sometimes you got to go sideways to go forwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have so obviously like bringing new staff members on, the growth is happening. Do you envision that you're going to be moving out of the current warehouse and going bigger again, or what's the next couple of years look like?
Not sure. It's one thing that we've learnt lately is about prioritization and focus. And right now our focus is getting those staff up to scratch, getting them feeling comfortable to start running the machine without Alex and I being such like required cogs. We've managed to get me out of it a little bit, which has been sick. And I've kind of been the bridge between where we were to where we're going. The next step is to get Alex out of it a bit more because he's still running.
Still pretty heavily involved
heavily
in product design, a lot of how our marketing gets done and what that sort of looks like. ICHPIG direct to consumer. So, we're sort of working on getting me out with this new team that we've put together. And I think a lot of the brilliance and a lot of the smarts for the next couple of years of the brand is going to come out of that team. So I'm excited to take a step aside and watch their growth.
Let them flourish.
Yeah,
With the
for
guidance of like the staff members that have been there for AJ's been there for almost 8 years. Like we're talking about like long service leave with him now. Like it's crazy. Like it's a whole nother HR thing that I don't know shit about.
Little skate sports streetwear brand, and it's all of a sudden talking about long service leave. It's
Charles
like-
is 2 years off. I gotta.
Charles is
Don't
2 years
worry,
off.
the funds are there, but I'm just. I don't know what to do with 3 months without an employee. What happens?
I didn't even know it was 3 months.
It's 3 months, man.
It's hectic.
Yeah, I think there's some, again, handshake agreements that you can make together to manage it better. But the law,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And then, Jimmy's been with us for a while and he's been a long time customer. And it's sick to see the young and the old and the new and the kind of experienced and the not experienced kind of mixing and injecting new life into the brand. And taking it to new places. It's going to be sick to see where it goes. I'm fizzing. I've never been more excited about it in my life, to be honest.
absolutely.
fucking oath. It is. It's exciting. Growing a business is incredible.
Yeah, it's what G's us up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Doing proper business,
I feel it, yeah.
working on the business, not in the business. We've been working in the business for quite a while now. And after a while it becomes not monotonous, but
You find people that are better at it than you. There's
Yeah.
people that are better at designing
Everything.
clothes than me. Like, absolutely. Like, let's hire them, So now we got them.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's really cool. And it gives you more time to go and do some other stuff. Like you've been taking, or you took Charles down Casey? Is it Casey?
Chelsea.
Nah,
Chelsea. Sorry,
Chelsea.
The Chelsea skate park.
yeah, I put those powerlifting muscles to the test.
How'd he go? How was he down there?
I think he was gassed within 5
It
minutes.
doesn't surprise me.
I'm not going to lie. You guys are just 8 reps or nothing. Like,
Charles.
as soon as we're going north of 8 reps, you guys are cactus.
Yeah.
It's so
the more
funny.
elite you get at powerlifting,
you start to
the less you tank.
you rob Peter to pay Paul. You're
Absolutely.
robbing a lot of your cardiovascular health to.
He did well though. Like he gave it a crack and he was dropping in on stuff and like, God, he's skating the most heinous sport I've ever seen in my life. My God, it was disgusting. I almost vomited on it. I actually gave him one of my old ones.
We flipped it over early in the week and. We'll show you. It's on the next video, but we'll show you a 5-minute montage of Charles trying to hit a kickflip and what he's up to. It's quite funny.
He must be close. He was getting pretty close.
He's pretty close. Yeah, he was also trying to do some grinds. His dog was just the whole setup of the whole situation was just an absolute laugh.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, Charles is a weapon. Yeah.
Yep.
He was a bit disappointed that he was missing today, but he'll be here next Monday when we launch the stuff, which we will talk about as well. But also, you had you were not competing, but you had a testing day with the Fortress boys.
Yeah,
team,
there was
not just boys. Team.
Yeah, there was a max out day at TSF on Saturday, which was really good fun. Massive turnout, 40, 50, 60 people were there for sure. Not just people internal at the gym, but other people came down as well. Really good fun, yeah.
How'd you go? What'd you hit?
We're going to talk numbers?
Yeah, it's up to you.
No, dude,
You're a fucking powerlifter. Of course you're going to talk numbers. That's all you guys do.
I just have a crack. I enjoy it. It's good fun. Keeps you honest. No, I had a good squat day. Worked up to a 215 squat, which was pretty good for me. Bench 152.5, which was okay, a bit slow. And then I've been doing sumo. I did a block of sumo for like 5-week block of sumo. So I just decided to sumo instead of conventional and had a 240 sumo, which I was kind of happy with, yeah.
What's your conventional at?
About 250.
So similar.
Similar.
After a block though, it's probably
5-week turnaround.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
but
probably got some
easier
legs.
250 than what this 240 sumo was.
of course. Well,
That was pretty funny watching that.
I almost fell over. I'm trying to figure out how much
the
pigeon
balance.
the feet are
the
out.
balance. Yeah, the further the wider your toes get, the more balance.
Yeah, they told me that leading up on the 220, like, oh, your feet are a little bit too out, bring them in a bit, and then I was about to fall over, and it was all happening.
It's pretty technical. Sumo deadlift is pretty technical, but if you can fine tune it, you'll probably I'd say if after 5 weeks you're only 10 kilos behind your conventional, I reckon that's
my
probably
plan.
going to go.
I'm still sort of in the grip and rip land.
Yeah.
So
Are you ever going to
I'm
compete?
still there. Don't worry.
I competed at Hawthorn.
You have done a
Hawthorn
comp.
Open
Nice.
in between that sort of weird lockdown open we had last year. We were open for 2 weeks, then shut down again. We slipped that comp in. So yeah, I competed in that. Had a good time.
Yeah.
It's pretty like serious up on a stage and like it's all.
Well, it's a sport.
It's all happening.
Yeah,
it's a sport.
It's a
Yeah,
sport.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's a sport. I just kind of go to the gym, look at some steel, and have a crack. But it's a bit more serious than that.
You want to give a few a crack next year, didn't you?
Yeah, I want to maybe compete in March and then maybe October, something like that.
Yeah, fucking
Got to get 2 done, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure. We'll probably be around, so we'll make it a bit less serious for you.
Yeah, no, it would be sick to do one here.
Yeah,
Set one
we're
up
got to get ours up in March. Actually, maybe we'll talk off air. I don't want to throw it out to the. I don't want to throw it out to the world just yet, but because we know that our first one here is going to be pretty mayhem.
Sick.
Yeah,
I'm down.
There's people messaging me from Tasmania that want to come up for it, and I think it'll be big with the new facility and the new setup. And the sound system that
We'll
just
sponsor it. We'll put some prize money into it. Behind it.
Fucking oath. Yeah, 100%. Because speaking of Monster, with the Monster fridge, we're going to try and get them involved as well for that. Yeah, so we want to try and make our comps a bit of it's like a bit, just distance ourselves a little bit. Like like this facility, like you've been to obviously a few gyms around, but what we can offer here is there's really not that many private facilities that can do what we probably have the potential to do here in terms of everything. So we want to leverage that and use that to our advantage. So we want to make our comps crazy. So maybe we'll chat.
Sick.
For sure. What are we sitting at? About 45 minutes, so we're right on it. Let's talk about then the drop. I think that's probably the last thing that we talk us through what you've made for the collab and our community.
Yeah, I suppose the main thing was trying to get away from the traditional sort of nasty side of sort of health and fitness that can sometimes come off a little bit, I don't know, a bit clip-arty, I suppose. So we wanted to just design something a little bit more fun, a little bit more casual. Everyone on our side sort of takes their training relatively seriously, but not at a professional or elite level. So we just wanted something that was wearable from a street aesthetic and nothing that was too tech gym. So produced an illustration graphic with a young guy called SD Workshop.
Yep.
Shout out to
Yeah,
him on Instagram.
he tagged us when we put that flyer up.
Yeah,
Monday
Sean,
night, maybe.
really
Yep.
good dude, super easy to work with, great relationship with him. So we worked together with him collaboratively to produce the graphic and created the colorway out of like an old Gold's Gym retro tee from the 90s, a classic sort of faded purple Californian style tee with like high-vis yellow and white print. And yeah, that was sort of the graphic. Put him the character in ICHPIG hoodie with the anorak pocket, just so that for that reference, and the fleecy terry shorts.
And his face is hidden.
Yeah, hidden face. Could be any gender. Yeah. That was sort of
And
that.
we got two we got a white tee, a black tee, and then a black hood.
White tee, black
I
hood.
love the hood. The hood looks sick.
Dense
hood's-
embroidery.
The hood
hood's-
looks
yeah.
sick.
It's pretty
Yeah.
hard to get past the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
pretty
sent
solid.
it on the embroidery. We just want to really max out on that.
Yeah, fucking oath. Nah, it looks unreal.
Yeah.
And then obviously, so we're doing a bit of a content day today. I think this is going up on Wednesday. So there'll be a vlog as well later in the week, which I think is Friday. Oh, Thursday and Friday, sorry, I think is what we decided on. But then on the Monday the 20th, at roughly 4 p.m., you'll be able to get your first pick of the available material or stock.
And
as
that'll
it
be
were.
here.
Yeah, that'll be here.
That'll be
yeah,
here.
We'll be launching it here. We'll organise. We'll probably have some beers and stuff as well, and,
Cool.
and get a dinner roll and some pizzas rolling through. Probably speak to Hattie and
Magic Pizza.
Magic Pizza.
Shouts out.
Shouts out to Magic. So that will be on the 20th of December, and then whatever stock, because we know that we do have guys all around Australia. Whatever stock is left over after that day will go on the website.
Wednesday
We were saying.
22nd. That's the
22nd.
22nd, probably what,
Is it a
10
10 a.m.
a.m. or
release?
5 p.m.
I think Jimmy will probably be running the release. It'll either be a 10 a.m. or a 5 p.m. So keep an eye on the
We'll let you
socials.
guys know through socials and everything.
Yep.
Because and we do say thank you. Like, this is the first time when we moved to this facility. Like, we obviously hired Donnie, and a big drive of something that we've wanted to do is we don't just want to be a gym. Like, we want to. And this is like our first sort of like, this is fucking sick for us. Like, you saw it when we unboxing that shit. Like, it's fucking crazy. So thank you very much for giving us the chance to sort of be part of the little ICHPIG story for a
sure.
few months. It's been awesome.
Big story, brother.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
insult
big
the man.
A growing story as
The
well.
growing story, yeah. Maybe just before we wrap it up, where can people find the brand? Obviously, the classic channels or whatever, but the website and stuff. Just a quick plug.
ICHPIG.com, ICHPIG. It's Instagram, ICHPIG.
Instagram's probably the best at the minute. We had YouTube running pretty hard for a while there on IPTV before COVID shut that down, but
Fuck
yeah,
COVID.
Still cool. Oh, yeah, fuck COVID.
yeah, a bit of that.
But yeah, still got jump on YouTube and watch the IPTVs. They're pretty funny watch. There's some funny shit going down in
And
there.
there'll be some more coming soon.
Get back into it. Content's
Yeah.
king.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up, and I think we're going to go train now. Done.
Awesome.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Thank you very much.